Okay, let's see if I can send it this way. Now, this may be above my ability, Kyle. I need to be able to cut and paste the Zoom meeting information and send it to his phone.
If you can email me his phone number, I can text it to him.
Okie doke, I can do that. That might be easier. Okay. Okay, it's coming.
All right, I have texted him the meeting link, and just as a heads up, we are currently live on Pitt TV and YouTube, and just to be mindful of your microphones.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Is that Chairman Cox that just jumped in?
Yeah, for some reason, I'm on my phone and I couldn't get on with my laptop, so I'm doing my best. So.
No problem. We've got you connected, and that looks like your laptop may also be connecting. So hang tight just a second.
Yeah, so I'll have to use my phone in terms of for my audio.
No problem.
Let me see if I can try with the audio.
We've got you merged to your video if you're comfortable with using your phone, but you're
okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, and we are actually live and on the air. So whenever Chairman Cox, you are ready, you have the floor.
Hey, good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. Technical issues. So, again, I apologize for starting late, and I thank you for holding on. So I'd like to call the meeting to order this Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021 of the Pitt County Social Services Board. And We will open our meeting by observing a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So to start our meeting, I'm going to ask that Susan call the roll so we can identify who's here, please.
Chair Cox,
Present.
Vice Chair Bunch,
Present.
Mr. Dancy,
Present.
Ms. Nelson,
Present.
and Ms. Perkins Williams has stated she will not be here.
Thank you,
She is-
Susan.
She is asked to be excused if the board would do so, as she's out of town.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, moving forward here, Susan, I will ask the board for a motion to adopt or revise today's agenda. Are there any revisions to today's agenda? If not, could I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
In a second. And Susan, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Chair Cox,
I agree.
Dr. Bunch,
Agree.
Mr. Dancy,
Agreed.
Ms. Nelson,
Agreed.
Thank you, Susan. Moving forward on our agenda, you should have all received your packet, and there was a copy of the last month's minutes. So if there's no revisions to those minutes, I would ask for a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Bunch. In a second, thank you, Mr. Dancy. And Susan, please call the roll.
Chair Cox,
Approve?
Dr. Bunch,
Approved.
Mr. Dancy,
Approved.
Ms. Nelson,
Approved.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, so first part of our agenda today is something that we started, I guess in the last fall, in terms of employee recognition. And I'm going to turn things over to Ms. Elliott so we can recognize our new employees and any of our retirees. Thank you, Jan.
I'm going to try and share my screen and get our employees up for you. Our first employee this month is Sarah Winnick. Sarah is a new employee for us with the Adult Protective Services Division. Sarah's worked for us as sort of a part-time employee at various points when we've needed somebody. So we're excited to have her now as a full-time employee at the agency. We have Quasia Battle, who has joined us as a social worker in the investigation section of the agency. And so we certainly are pleased to have him. He comes with a lot of background working with youth in the community. We have Erica Jett, who has joined us as a social worker in the CPS section also. And Erica is working with us around our on-call section. We also have Charles Brown, who has joined us in our child welfare section. He too is going to be working with our on-call section once he gets a little additional orientation to the agency. So we're thrilled to have all four of these new folks. We know that they're going to be make a real contribution to the agency and hope they will be with us for a long time.
Thank you, Jan. And certainly the board wants to recognize them and welcome to the agencies. And we look forward to hearing about how they're doing and their progress and them joining the agency. So this has been kind of a nice addition to our board and in terms of recognizing new employees, and we appreciate that. Okay, so moving forward here, items for discussion. We started this, I guess, last fall in terms of thinking about the importance of our partners in the community, and we're calling this outreach and engagement in terms of activities. And this is an opportunity to educate not only our board and staff, but also our community. So today it looks like Jan's arranged to have Mr. Ernest Lee from Pitt Community College. Jan, you want to say anything about that before we turn it over to Mr. Lee?
Well, no, Ernest is very well known in the community, and we're thrilled to have him. He is working around the outreach and community engagement kinds of activities at the college, and I think that's, from what I understand, something new. And so we thought it would be an excellent opportunity to have Ernest bring us up to date on what's going on out there.
Outstanding. Oh, okay, go right ahead.
No, you have the floor, Mr. Lee. Go ahead. Thank you for sharing with us.
Okay, as you can see, I'm eager to talk about what's going on at Pitt Community College. I want to thank Jan for inviting me today. I know a lot of you. For those of you who do not know me, I've been Director of Outreach for a little more than 20 years at Pitt Community College. And with the new program, I'm now Assistant Vice President of Outreach and Community Engagement. And pretty much what that entails, a lot of things of what I was already doing with addition to, and I'll get to that in a moment. And I know this is you guys' board meeting, and I'm gonna try to give you my short version. So,
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Here, because quite a bit I would love to cover, but I'm gonna try to do a compact version here. One of the things that we like to do is get everybody in Pitt Community and Pitt County involved in what's going on at community college. And of course, we have worked with you guys forever, as far as I'm concerned, and a very good partnership there. But some of the things that I'm doing, or that we're doing at the community college, consists of really getting people involved and getting them engaged so that they can go out and really begin to help themselves as far as the job market. We're of course, for several years now, we have done what we call the short-term training courses in the trades. The reason being, we went to employers was asking us, we were asking them, what did they need from an employer? And one of the things they wanted, two things they really want was, one, they need a body to be able to come to work. That was one of their main focus. Can you find people who will work? And then they asked us to look at possibly training people, giving them some training. They didn't have to be experts when they come on the trades, but at least have some idea of what the job is about. So that's what brought about things such as the electrical, welding, plumbing, masonry, framing, heating and air. These are short-term courses. When we say short-term, we mean short-term. We're talking about 48 hours of training. We have partnered with the city of Greenville. They partnered with us, and as far as we went to the table and they talked to us about what we needed, and what they narrowed it down to, we needed some funding to help with people coming into these programs, and which they have been providing probably for the last 4 years with us. So we have those partnerships with the funding, because they're short. When we talk short-term training, we also talking not a whole lot of money, but for some it's a whole lot of money when you're talking anywhere from $75 to $185 for the course, and that's complete. Pretty much, unless they need something like the different types of shoes, gloves, or shield or something like that. But with that, we've been able to, the best part about that is that we can put people in the class who really want to go to work. When we're talking about really want it, you do not have to have a high school diploma, although we push you to get to really get into that class also, but you don't have to have one. You do not have to, if you have a background. That does not stop you from getting into these short-term training classes. So that's a plus. Also, for the Latino population, if they're undocumented, they can take the classes. We can't give them a scholarship. They normally don't have a problem paying for the class. They want the training. If they are documented, that goes with the reason with anyone else. So, but these classes are offered for anyone in the community that want to go to work. And I want to put a special emphasis on right now. We are getting ready to start our first masonry class. I just like to say bricklaying. Feels better. We have been trying to get an instructor for 6 years at Pitt Community College for this class. It is, it's overwhelming out there, the jobs that are out there. They are telling us whoever wants to come to this class, if they want to learn this and train, there will be a job waiting for them. We're not a job placement agency, but we tell you exactly what the employers tell us. This goes along with the plumbing, all of this new construction. They're looking for them on the new construction site, not come out and go into somebody's house, go out and go into the new construction site. And again, we have taken away all barriers for a person to actually come to this class. Of course, we still deal with transportation issues, some of those things that are going on out there. But we just completed a class at the Intergenerational Center for the HVAC, for heating and air, which were very successful. We brought in, I think, 3-4 different types of units, mobile units that they can just work on right there in the class. So that was a real good fit for us. And we finished a refrigeration class. For those of you who are familiar with that, if a person is a heating and air person and they want to, if they can buy refrigerant now, if they're working with a person with their license for that, well, the law has changed. They can't buy refrigerant now unless they have taken the refrigerant course, which is a 2-week course, and they passed the test. And we just gave our first class on that. So a lot of people will be coming to Pitt that's in heat and air for that, which is another area where they really, really need people to train and go to work there. So as I push this, so much to talk about, but I do want to get this into Pitt Community College now. We are the reentry site for Pitt County. And I'm sure everybody's familiar with that. It used to be Life of Strive, Life of NC, before that Strive with George Jones. That program now at Pitt Community College, and I dare either one of you to guess who they put that program on.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, and also, but with that, we have there are 3 different grants that comes with that. That we have the Z. Smith Rental grants, which work with women who have been incarcerated. We have the Governor's Crime Commission grant, which work with teenagers from 15 to 17. And then we have the DPS grant, the Public Safety, Department of Public Safety, that huge grant there. So we're in the process now of bringing on our case managers for this program and to get this started. So you'll be hearing a lot more from us on that in the coming weeks. But we'd already start serving people who had been incarcerated before with the short-term training, and those who are ready to even go farther as far as the degree program, they are more than welcome. So a lot going on at Pitt Community College, and we want to make sure that we get the information out to you and that you're able to contact me. And for me, to get people contact to any of these programs, I give out my personal cell phone number, and that number is 252-341-5696. I do not believe I can help them if they can't get to me. So if they get to me, I'll get them to the right person. But please, they can call that number anytime. And that's a number that's 24/7. So please pass it on. Don't be afraid to pass on my cell phone number to anyone out there that needs our help. And I will gladly take any questions right now before I take off, because I do have another presentation to give this afternoon.
Mr. Lee, I want to thank you. I've heard you speak a number of times, and I get energy from your energy, and I can the great job that you do. And I want to congratulate you on the reentry grant. I think that's wonderful, and that's a nice addition and a continuation of services. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Lee?
Yes, Mr. Lee, can you repeat your cell number, please?
That number is 252-341-5696. And yes, Ms. Jan Fisher has that number too.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes, but please don't hesitate to give that personal cell phone number out. It's not a problem. That phone is available.
Okay, we appreciate your time, Mr. Lee. And
Absolutely.
again,
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move forward now. And I think we're moving forward to under items for discussion, National Foster Care Month activities. And I think we have a couple folks that are going to tell us about that. So I'll turn it over to them. And Ms. Elliott.
Okay, so Chandra, Rhonda, who's up?
Rhonda.
You look like Chandra to me.
How about Rhonda will start and Chandra will finish?
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rhonda Dawson. I've been a supervisor here for several years and newly appointed permanency planning program manager. So what we are here to talk about is May is National Foster Care Month. And with that being said, there are over 420,000 children and youth in foster care across the country. And many have been facing increased isolation over the past year due to the COVID pandemic. Currently in Pitt County, we have 178 children in the department's custody and 24 children participating in our 18 to 26 program because they extended the age to 26 up until October of this year so they can get extended benefits. This year, the National Foster Care Month focuses on how to strengthen these connections and the role of the family and youth engagement at every stage. We should ensure all families and youth have meaningful involvement in court hearings, case planning, and make it possible for youth to stay connected to their parents and extended support systems while in foster care. When it isn't possible to meet in person, virtual engagement tools have been critical to preserving meaningful connections and engaging the youth and our families in the work that we do. Authentically engaging our youth and families can lead to increased family stabilization and expedite reunification and permanency. I can honestly say, I think if there is anything positive that has come from this pandemic is that it has forced us as social workers, as an agency, to work differently and think more outside of the box when it comes to how we engage our families, how we communicate with our families, how we communicate with our youth, our foster families, and maintaining those connections. You know, before we would want all of our meetings to be face-to-face and everybody, we would have to do everything face-to-face. And now we're becoming very tech savvy and keeping up with our teenagers that are in foster care and learning from them, and we're teaching them a few tricks along the way as we're providing our services primarily virtually still. And I'm hoping that this is something that we can continue to do because it does afford a lot of our families that do have transportation issues the ability to be able to have extended contact with their families. With foster families, I think it's helped promote shared parenting with our foster families because they get to have those extended contacts, and it affords in the foster parents and the parents to have those additional communications. Currently, we have 35 homes that are licensed here in Pitt County, and I think almost all of our homes are at capacity. They're in the process of licensing 8 families, which with COVID restrictions, that's the most that we can license at one time or have in the one class. So that's in the process of ongoing. Even thus far with the pandemic, last year, you know, we had 82 children leave foster care. And I think that's a great success with the challenges that families and the courts and the department has faced. So, you know, we're working outside the box, and we're working with our families. We're partnering. We're hoping to put together a foster care walk towards the end of the month to close out foster care month. They had, I'll let Chandra talk more about the Bridge of Foster Ministry and the activity that they had at the first of the month.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chandra Newborn. I just want to talk about the activity that was held on May the 1st. So I think this would be a good time, Carla, Kyle, if you could show our little video before I say my spiel, please. Okay, so DSS partnered with the Bridge Foster Ministry to celebrate National Foster Care Month to appreciate our Pitt County licensed foster parents on May the 1st, 2021. The event was held at the First Free Will Baptist Church of Greenville, and we would like to take this opportunity to formally thank the Bridge Foster Ministry, Mr. Ryan Tittle of the Integrity Restaurant Group, to include Zaxby's of Greenville, Winterville, and Washington for providing lunch, Engravers World and Apparel, Washington First Free Will Baptist Church, Greenville, Ella Flow Media, Ignite Kids Ministry, Sign Gypsies of Pitt County, Mr. Isaac Hopkins, Miss Lori Asby, Mr. Lee and Jennifer Teague, and Miss Tara Pish. We, the Pitt County DSS family, are forever grateful for your support and dedication and commitment to not only our foster families, but also our social workers. Our hearts are overflowing with gratitude. We hope to continue this great partnership. And again, we thank you for the drive-through celebration for our foster families and the children that we serve. It was a great time. The kids had fun. The cotton candy was a big hit. The adults had fun. It was a celebration. It was a very good event, and we just want to thank Bridge and all the volunteers for helping us celebrate. All right,
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much. That was a great presentation. Do we have any questions for our guests? Okay, well, thank you very much. A job well done, and nice to hear about those activities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward on our agenda, now we're going to move into items for discussion. And first on our agenda today is an election of a vice chair for our board. And as you recall, last month, I believe it was last month or maybe the month before, Dr. Bunch submitted her resignation as the vice chair. She presented last month in terms of alerting people that we would be putting this onto our agenda for this upcoming month. And I guess what we do is we just open it up for discussion at this point, and or any nominations for the vice chair position. And Ms. Elliott, could you remind us, this vice chair, we have our formal elections, would it be next month or in the month of July?
You'll have your formal election for the next year in July.
Right, in July. That'll be probably first on our agenda. So this would be the vice chair through that period of time, and then we would have re-elections at that point. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. So any discussion or any nominations for that?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I would like to nominate Catherine Nelson to the position of vice chair.
Could I guess I would move to have a second for that. Well, I guess first should ask if Catherine, are you interested in that? Would you be willing to serve?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Catherine. So could I have a second for that?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. So Susan, call the roll for that, please. I guess we're a small group today, but I want to go ahead and formalize that.
Sorry. Chair Cox,
Agree?
Dr. Bunch,
Agree?
Mr. Dancy,
Agreed.
Miss Nelson,
So I'm supposed to vote?
Just shake your head, Catherine. There you go. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate that. So, we can talk offline in terms of, kind of what the expectations and responsibilities of that are. But I appreciate you stepping up to do that. So next on the agenda is approval of adult in-home services bid proposal. And we had a presentation last month in terms of opening up the bids. And I'm going to turn that over to Jan, or I will turn it over to Cynthia for that announcement.
Right, so Cynthia will present, they went out and did interviews of the organizations, and so they will present their recommendation, and I will turn it over to Cynthia. I did try to send out late before the meeting, the written recommendation information that they have. I don't know that everybody had a chance to get it or review it. And if you didn't, that's fine. Cynthia's going to cover some of that in there as she presents, and so that you'll have some understanding of why we're going the recommendation that we're going. And when she finishes presenting, then we would need you all certainly to ask any questions and then ask for a vote on that recommendation. So Cynthia?
Hello. Just to review our process from the beginning is we advertised, the bids were accepted through March 19th. We opened those bids, they were sealed. We opened them in our last board meeting on the 13th. After that, like Ms. Elliott said, we actually contacted the 3 different companies that submitted bids and had interviews with them. So the first company was Interim Healthcare. They are currently providing services to us. In the interview, they shared they had been in business for about 33 years and have been serving Pitt DSS for in-home services off and on at different times for about a total of 12 years of the years that they have been in service. They're currently serving 7 counties in in-home services. Their corporation across North Carolina and South Carolina, they have about 5,000 individuals that they're serving in North Carolina. That about 90 individuals are being served out of the Greenville office, and about 70 to 75% of their staff are CNAs. So there's different levels of skills and levels of education that individuals who do this, and CNA is probably often the more higher level one that we see for our individuals. When we discussed their awards, they had an award for serving on the board of the United Way and also some recognition from Community Care Hospice. They believe that they should be recommended because they believe that they provide quality, timely care, and that they believe that the history that they have with us indicates that they would be able to do the job. Their bid was at $16 an hour. The next company that we interviewed with was Bartes Enterprises. Their bid was $19.40 an hour. Bartes, when we interviewed them, they're primarily started in 2016 as a real estate business, and she describes the primary focus is flipping houses. They do not have any awards or accreditations. They do not have any in-home services that they provide to anybody, don't have any CNAs, don't have any accreditations. The third company that submitted a bid was Baoda Home Care. Their bid was $18 an hour. They have been in business for 46 years and serve 1 million clients worldwide. In January of 19, they became a nonprofit company. They discussed in their interview the Baoda Way, which had core values of compassion, excellence, and reliability, that they are serving currently 10 counties, whether it be the county DSS, and in some counties, the Area on Aging is the lead agency, but they're serving 10 counties with in-home services. One of their main focuses is reliability. They believe when they are expected to cover contracted hours that they would do that with about 98% completion. They do this indicated and reviewed with us. There are multiple strategies that they use to make sure that individuals are staffed and don't miss hours, like if an aide cancels services. One of the things that they put in place in their practice is a triple redundancy system where they have 1 primary aide and 2 backup aides so that they can make sure that they keep cases covered and don't miss providing services. Approximately 98% of the aides in the Greenville office are CNAs. Baoda is CHAP accredited, which is Community Health Accreditation Program. And they were also recognized as a top 100 place to work by Glassdoor, outranking both Apple and Amazon. So it appears to be recognized as a company where people are happy to be there. One of the important factors that they shared with us was that they have an independent proprietary assessment tool that they've come up with that focuses on the social determinants of health. And it focuses on looking at the whole person, not just specifically the ADLs and IADLs or the tasks needed by the aide, but their assessment tools cover and identify unmet needs in the home, connect with resources using both their own knowledge base and accessing NC Cares 360. So after considering all the interviews, the interview team is recommending that Baoda be the company selected to serve in the contract. The primary reason for that is the belief that serving with 98% reliability is important in this time to prevent multiple people going into a home, keeping consistent services. Their proprietary tool that they developed, Stop and Watch Early Warning Tool, that we believe would be a partner for us that would supplement and be another set of eyes in a home that would also support the work that our social workers are doing. So we would have our social workers that do those things, but there's another set of hands to help and provide help to the individuals that we serve. So we are requesting that Baoda be given the contract.
Thank you for that presentation, Cynthia. So Ms. Jan, how do we move forward with this? So we need a motion to approve that recommendation. Is that right?
Certainly see if anybody's got any questions, have some discussion, and yes, then you would need some type of motion
Ultimately.
to either to approve it or not.
So questions for Cynthia?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. So Susan, could you call the roll, please?
Chair Cox,
Approve.
Dr. Bunch,
Approve.
Mr. Dancy,
Approve.
Vice Chair Nelson,
Approve.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Cynthia, for all of that hard work. Appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, moving forward, we're going to move into our Deputy Director's report, and we're going to hear about the CDBG CV grant and Medicaid transformation. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Frazier.
Thank you, Chair Cox. I will flip it and start with the Medicaid transformation. We have still continuing our community outreach to all of our hard-to-reach population. As of last week, we have about 1,100 of our clients who have directly enrolled into the Medicaid managed care. And that's about 3.55% of the total population that we expect to be enrolled in this Medicaid managed care program. I did a county by county analysis of the 7 counties that surround us. We are actually doing better than them. So even though the number is still low, but Pitt County has a good chunk of their numbers already enrolled in the Medicaid transformation. So what does this mean? Friday will be the last day for open enrollment. If by Friday, those who are eligible to be enrolled in Medicaid managed care do not elect or select, they will be auto-enrolled into the program on the 15th, starting the 15th of May. So we are still hopeful that people will kind of jump in and do their own elections and make sure they choose their PCPs as early or late as Thursday night or Friday morning. So I will pause for questions on the Medicaid transformation.
Are there questions for Dr. Frazier?
I'd like to make a comment, and that is that certainly we want folks to enroll. If folks do not enroll and get auto assigned, there is a 90-day period where they can change who their provider is. But certainly it would be very helpful to have that done in advance. And again, I want to be sure, and I know Dr. Frazier does too, to thank the PIO office for all that they've done to try and help us get the word out, even connecting us with the school system to do a blast to parents. So didn't want to let that pass.
Thank you, Ms. Jan. I appreciate that. For that rejoinder and the brain you have, I appreciate that very much. So now I will go over to this utility portion of this report. As of this afternoon, I was just given the numbers. We have a total of 138 applications for assistant. Of those numbers, we have approved 33 and obligated about 15,000 and change for this program. And we have a denial of 51% due to insufficient documentation, not approval, income limits are beyond the program. So that's why the denial is high as it is. We have 4% that have withdrawn their application because they don't qualify based on the program requirements. So on that portion of the program, we are still not approving or authorizing payments. We are just commenting on those so that when the CDBG authorizes or releases the funds to DSS, then we can actually start to cut those checks. But at this point, we are just obligating to make sure people continue to stay in their home with the utilities not cut off. The rental assistance portion of the program is still evolving. Department of Commerce has not authorized DSS to tap into the program funds. We have sent all of our documents and it is being reviewed. We did have, on Wednesday, we had a phone discussion. Yesterday, we had another phone discussion. So we are hopeful that some movement will be done on their end. But I want to caution everybody, Pitt County is not alone in this facade. Some other counties who were approved with this grant has still not received their funds. So we are not alone, or it is not very unique with our situation. Kevin, who is the expert in this field, is also helped by other experts in this area to kind of see what will be our avenues we can pursue and how best we can approach this scenario. Ms. Jan and her good resources are being utilized to make sure we stay on target and within our merits. With that, I did present some graphics that I sent to you. I will send the updated data to you guys through Ms. Susan. Let me know if you have any questions. I will answer those.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. And I want to recognize Dr. Frazier for his work in this area. We've worked together on the whole eviction diversion issue, and he's been a great complement to our team in terms of his knowledge and experience. So I just want to recognize him in that area. So any other questions for Dr. Frazier? And I'm sure you'll keep us updated in terms of in terms of all three of the initiatives that we talked about.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there are no questions for Dr. Frazier, thank you, and let's move forward here. And we're going to move forward to Ms. Jan and the director's report.
And I will be really brief today. You have in front of you, or within the package, the final report for the Low Income Energy Assistance Program for this year. I say the final report. There will be supplemental payments issued, we understand, and so more to come on that, but this is the final report based on the applications that we took and approved this year. And as you can see, we if you remember when we met last month, we still had a few applications pending. So the final number was 3,523 households receiving benefits. We returned $79,000, and we spent $936,000 from our regular application, and then $470,000 from the pandemic fund. So a significant amount of money was sent out in Pitt County to help with folks' energy bills this year. And then you have the report also from the Crisis Intervention Program. That is an ongoing program. We have approved, as of May 5, 3,010 households thus far this year, and have spent $706,000 of our $997,000 allocation. So people are still applying, people are still being approved. With crisis, there has to be a crisis in the home that qualifies you in addition to the financial piece. I know Michelle is on the call, and I know Brian is on the call. So if either one of them has anything to add, or if you have any questions, I'm sure they can answer those for you. Y'all have anything to add or any questions from the board? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, we'll move on to the Medicaid application process and report. This was a fabulous report this month. The applications folks are doing an outstanding job, even under the pressure of COVID and increased applications. 97% of our MAD, Medicaid assistance for the disabled, were processed within the time standard, and 95% of our other Medicaids were processed within the time standard. So you can see this is one of the best we've done. Our number of days to process the MAD is 61 days, so well below the 90, and 28 days well below the 45 for the other Medicaid. So the group is working really hard and doing an outstanding job. I'll stop and see if there's a question there. And if not, I'll move on to the vacancy report. We filled 4 positions since the last meeting. You can see we still have 20 vacant. I'd love to get below that 20 someday. We have 20 vacant positions at this point. A small number are frozen. Most are in some process of being recruited, screened, hired, whatever. Kevin gave us, Kevin Kreischer, who is our data person, gave us today the third quarter report on our recruitment. And it's amazing that between January 24th and May the 3rd, we hired 27 staff. So wow. We have been very busy. The average time from posting the position to closing out and the person coming to work is 133 days. So again, it takes a while to get this done. Basically it's 3 months from the date it's posted for the position to be filled. So from the time the person leaves the job until the time the new person starts is 133 days. So longer than I would like it to be, but we continue to improve in that area. So again, we'll see if there's any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Elliott?
If not, that's the end of my reports, unless y'all have any questions about the written report I sent you or anything else going on.
Any questions for Ms. Elliott? Okay, if not, I'm going to move on to board member comments. I know before I came online, there was a lot of, I was getting bleeps and texts announcements and information, and I was scurrying trying to make this work. So I apologize. And in terms of doing that, but I really couldn't wait to do this, and I think it's okay to do this at this point in terms of recognizing Jan Elliott, our director. She was recognized this past week as the Dss Director of the Year by the Directors Association. And just a terrific award, well-deserved. I want to thank the county manager. I want to thank Susan and Angela for keeping this a secret and being able to pull this all off, and everybody that was able to attend. And I know there's some pictures floating around out there, Jan, and I don't know if we're ready to release those, or again, I was kind of caught up in the moment trying to make this work. But again, I just want to recognize Jan for all of her hard work over the years, and to be recognized by her peers and the DSS directors. It was a very nice thing, nice award, and congratulations, Jan.
Thank you so much. I was really surprised, as everyone knows, so I really appreciate it. Let's see, I might can put a picture out. Let's see. Well, what happened? Do y'all have a picture? Okay, I'm not seeing a picture. So we won't make it.
No, we are seeing that.
It's
what?
Mary.
I see the
We see
picture.
one.
Okay, okay. Well, I was trying. So that's the picture I was able to get out. And that's the whole group that was sneaking around as part of the presentation. So thank y'all.
Jan,
Ma'am?
college graduation, but there's no doubt this is a well-deserved award. We're just so proud of you and proud that you belong to us in Pitt County.
Thank you.
No other comments from the board?
Well done, Jan.
Thank you so much. I
Well
appreciate
done.
all y'all. Appreciate all y'all
Yes.
being there.
It was
Yeah,
very
very nice.
exciting. It was very exciting. So I'd just like to say congratulations to all the new workers that you introduced, and congratulations to our new vice chair, Ms. Catherine Nelson. And, it's always kudos to you, Jan, for keeping things moving in the middle of a pandemic.
Okay, if there's no other comments, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. I have
So
a
moved.
motion.
So moved.
I'll need a second.
Second.
And with that, I'm going to ask Susan call the roll. And just as a reminder, our next meeting will be June the 8th. So Susan, could you call the roll, please?
Chair Cox,
Adjourn, agreed.
Dr. Bunch,
Agree.
Mr. Dancy,
Agreed.
Vice Chair Nelson.
Agreed.
Hey, with that, I will see you next month on the 8th. Thank you very much.